you suggest just building a community of maybe people that you haven't met yet, or just reaching out to new people and building your community, even though it's hard to go out and like meet people in person now?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. And you know what, right now, I think that's such a bigger question than even you realize maybe when you're asking it, because we need relationship more than ever right now. I mean, our world is hurting for relationship, right? I mean, we all know what's going on in the world, and it's not pretty. And it's because we failed to build relationships across boundaries that have been built up. And so I'd say the biggest thing you can do, and actually if you hear me speak live, I talk a lot about questions and the power of questions. Man, there is nothing more powerful than a good question. And you ask someone and you just wait for the answer. So I'd say figure out what questions you need answered. Say like, hey, how can I help you is a good question. What drives you is a good question. And ask these to people that wouldn't expect it, right? That's kind of a fun thing to do. In my Young Life, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Young Life, but I'm a Young Life leader. Sometimes or my wrestling team I help coach, I'll ask these young people, I'll just say, hey, and, we'll be at wrestling practice and be like, hey, what do you care about? And I'll be like, what? Like the wrestling? Like I just all wrestling? Like, no, come on, really? Like what do you care about? What do you like to do for fun? Just asking people questions that they're not expecting can open up boundaries can dissolve boundaries that were previously there as far as for building relationships. You'd be very surprised. Just invest in people that way. It doesn't take any money. It doesn't take hardly any time. Just asking good questions. And I'd say there's probably a lot of good research done online about how to build relationships, but I think first step is just asking questions and being open to the answers and not having a rebuttal waiting, but just accepting whatever their answer is because that's who they are.